Greg, you're good now. You can hear us.
I'm good, and I don't know. Okay, so I got an update for my Mac, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. This was like 7 p.m. I'll do it. Be ready to record this. And then for whatever reason, I was getting zero sound through my headphones. Like, I couldn't hear you guys at all. And I felt kind of like a boomer because that was the first time where I was over like, I don't know. I don't understand, this technology. So I don't know. I don't know what it was.
It was the update. You shouldn't have done it.
So.
You don't do it before anything important.
That's what I get. Also, if you want any of us to be bigger, I don't know if Eric told you, you can hit the little pin button over whoever you want to be bigger, and it'll like reorient.
With 4 people, it's given me max screens for everybody.
Yeah, I see everyone at a nice ratio.
Love Riverside.
Yeah, right. Riverside's awesome. I before we really dig into it, I want to get some outside perspective on something. So
There we go.
My daughter is really guilty of this. Every time we go out to eat and I get something, before I can eat it, she always says, "That looks disgusting." and so I had this conversation with her and I was like, "Hey, it's not nice to say that to people." But my wife was like, "I don't think that's actually that big of a deal. Am I just being over dramatic, or is it rude to say someone else's food has no impact on your life, right?
Right.
So are you in the right to critique someone else's meal?"
I don't think it's necessarily polite. If she's a little
Right?
kid, I would probably side with you on the let's maybe try and quell that. You don't want to turn into adult, and everywhere she goes, it's like, that's disgusting for no reason at all.
Yeah, like I feel like it just like I don't want to say makes people feel bad, but like I don't know.
Greg, this literally happened to us on Mother's Day. We went out to dinner or lunch, like a late lunch at it was like this crab place. I don't want to vent about this crab place because it doesn't have anything to do with this. But my son said, "Oh, I got crab cakes," and it was over. All right, it was over pasta. It was like crab cakes on linguine, but then they were like, "Oh, what kind of sauce do you want?" I said, "Oh, the white wine garlic sauce." It was just like they poured pasta water all over it. So it was like soupy and then pasta and then crab cakes. So it did look really gross. And then my son said, "Oh, that looks so nasty." And I didn't want to be like, so my wife said, she said, "Don't yuck somebody else's yum."
Yes,
that's
what I was going to say. That's
yes,
it right
there. And I love that phrase. Like maybe I thought that my soupy linguine crab cake dish was delicious. And then I thought back when I was a kid and I would do it. My mom told me she said that her mother-in-law said, it was some dish that she made, said, "Oh, that looks like cat food." And that always stuck with me, that like a grown-ass woman started like talking smack on somebody else's dish. And so yeah, definitely not cool to yuck somebody else's yum. But is it justified sometimes in my soupy linguine crab cake thing? Yeah.
But I feel like too, food tastes the way it smells. Or like my wife will always be like, "This tastes like the smell of like Clorox wipes." You know what I mean? Like,
what is
the
I don't know.
you're talking about?
So maybe that's maybe that's a little out there, but like I feel like when you smell something, I don't know, maybe it's just me, it'll like have kind of like, if I smell something, like that's the taste of it. I don't know. Is that something?
Yeah, sure. I think I don't know about the Clorox comment, but I mean, I definitely agree.
We might need to check in on Greg and make
sure
he's not being like poison.
Yeah. But honestly, Greg, like the whole context around all of this, I think the don't yuck somebody's yum, I think that's a really good mentality. I think the what I like to kind of convey to my kids, or what I at least think I'm conveying, is like someone else worked hard to make this food, probably, unless you like picked it off a bush or something. But someone worked to make this food, and so I think it's one of those things. If you don't have anything nice to say, just keep it to yourself because it's not really accomplishing anything. There's nothing good that's coming from speaking that you don't like someone's food.
Yeah, I feel like unless they specifically ask you, and then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to be honest, and yes, I don't think or you
Sure.
know what? It's not something I would eat. How about that? Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
great.
think that's the way. All right, well, Tom and Jose, thank you for joining us. That's
No problem.
Rant over.
You know what?
but
I gotta hit this
but
one.
yeah. All right, see ya.
Yeah,
Next
it's
week
done.
we'll be.
That was it.
That was a good episode, fellas.
Woo! But yeah, actually, in all honesty, thank you guys for both joining us tonight. I promise we won't just talk about weird food things, or
Soupy
maybe
pasta,
we will. Yeah,
soupy
soupy
linguine.
pasta. It's funny. I saw that you're doing a 20th 20th show. What, in August 1st?
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, it's so weird that all of these awesome albums are turning fucking 20 years old. Like,
Make you feel old.
I mean, I remember here, Eric wasn't a big Harmony Grange kid, but I used to see you guys come through the Harmony Grange all the time. Like, I swear it was like Houston Calls, Just Surrender, My American Heart. Like, that was who I went for. But you guys are based out of New Jersey, right? Like, is that where you started? Was it Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when like early 2000s, is that kind of when Houston Calls formed?
Yeah, I feel like it was 2003 was the inception. And
Okay.
it was birthed from another band. So there were a couple other iterations. Everybody now was playing in different groups prior to 2003. But that was when it came together.
I feel like any band, it's like Jersey, like that was kind of, it's like Jersey or California. So like, who was kind of coming up around the same time as you guys? Like, who was in the local scene?
Jose, who was around? Like, I'm thinking,
You mean
I
in
mean,
New Jersey?
yeah, like around
like
us.
in the Jersey area.
I remember Socratic. I remember
Okay.
Valencia. They were in PA, but they were close friends. I'm trying to think in New Jersey. You mean like comparable?
Yeah, or just like, because I feel like I maybe that's just because when I was growing up, like the early 2000s, like that's when all like the bands were like, releasing all the bangers,
Greg's glory days.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we could say Hidden in Plainview was a band
Okay.
that was coming up around the time. I mean, they, took off
Yeah.
before we had anything going on, but
Right.
we were definitely cutting our teeth in the scene with them. And I know Just Surrender's from New York, but we still were coming up around the same time as them.
Yeah,
And we play with them a lot.
for sure.
Yeah, so like I don't know how to phrase it. Was there like a lot of competition? Like, was it difficult to break out, would you say, at that time? Or was everyone kind of doing their own thing and everyone was supportive of one another? Or was it just like a real like cutthroat?
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
I remember being pretty friendly.
Yeah.
When you
Go
get
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, you go.
I thought I was gonna say I remember it a little bit differently. I don't know.
Really?
I kind of remember both sides of it.
Okay,
remember
I
there
guess now
being-
that you say that, there was. Okay, yeah, I get where you're going with this.
Yeah,
It
like there was a
both.
good community,
Yeah,
but there was also a lot of probably internal desire to like outdo someone. Maybe you didn't outwardly voice that, but I feel like, I don't know about you, Jose, I could feel it at times. The way people would carry themselves. There were certain acts that, would have a certain aura about them.
yes.
I couldn't even name a lot of them right now. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think it could go both ways.
Yeah, no, definitely, you're definitely right. I guess in hindsight, like when you have if you like break up with a girl, you remember the good times. You tend to remember all the stuff that made you break up. It's like, yeah, maybe I'm little rose-colored glasses about it. But yeah, you're definitely right. There was a lot of that. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think that's what Jay was saying from Just Surrender, how like it was awesome, and then there was also some like real lows that go with touring and like being on the road all the time and kind of living that lifestyle. And I think it was Eric Dave Elkins from May said the same thing, where it's like, we were just like going show to show and being young and just like hoping you have enough gas money to get from A to B, and and that was kind of
living that life.
Yeah, and then I think I posted a clip about it, and Ryan from Rookie of the Year was like, he's like, shit, we're still out here just making $150 per show trying to get to the next place. But I feel like now in 2025, it's a lot harder, right? Like I feel like back in the 2000s, like we were going and getting t-shirts and albums, but now like everything is on Apple Music. I can't tell you the last time I bought, and I know that's kind of messed up, but like I can't tell you the last time I purchased music from somebody.
I can tell you the last time you purchased music from somebody. Place for Owls. You bought their you bought their vinyl or whatever it was.
Yeah, so you guys released or did a re-release of a vinyl not too long ago, right? Or maybe that was just an older post on your Instagram. I saw there was like a box of vinyls, right?
Yeah, a couple years ago, when we did the initial reunion, quote unquote, that was 2023. That was the first time we played since 2009. We coupled that with a release of our original album on vinyl. It had never been pressed on vinyl, so it was a re-release, but it was a new release in terms of vinyl pressing.
So how does that work? Like you just go to a company and you're like, hey, here's our music. Can you just, because I always see like there's 250 of this color and 250 of this color. And then like, it's just like a blue splotch versus like a red splotch. And like one sells out quicker than the other. And
Usually you got a guy.
Yeah.
Usually you just have a guy in your band who's like gung ho about getting it done. Ours is Josh.
Yeah.
And he just takes the reins and he's like, I got in contact with the record label. So I got the music. I got in contact with the art people that did it initially. They're resizing it so it works in the vinyl format. And then the rest kind of just gets done for us. Jose and I are probably we're along for the ride and just be like, yeah, that color that variant is cool. Josh will say,
Yeah.
hey, we got 3 options. What do you think about these? Great. Some people probably get a little bit more serious about it, but I think for us it was like, hey, here you go, 3 options. Here's what drive-through will do. Sold.
That's I feel like how Eric is when I'll pitch something. I'll say, hey, does this sound better or does this sound better? And he's like, they both sound the same. I don't really care.
Yes.
It's like when I go to the to the doctor and it's like, or which one is better? Even the eye doctor, the first one or the second one, I can't tell the fucking difference. Greg is a audiophile for sure. He's got the ear for it. And he goes, he's like, listen to this. I just got this new plug-in. Tell me how crisp this sounds. And he'll play it and I'll go, oh yeah, super crispy. Like it sounds so clear. I don't know. It sounds just like normal.
I don't know. I do see a lot of who was it that was like, I see a lot of bands releasing like cassettes too now, like re-releasing this album on cassette. Like I don't even have a way to play a cassette, but like I find myself
I just bought a cassette player like 2 days ago. My daughter had she next to the vinyls are all the cassettes. I just have some from bands, some from when I was a kid in my bedroom recording cassette tapes, you know what I mean? And I didn't have any way to play them. My daughter, she picked one up and she's like, Dad, what's this? And I was like, holy shit, you really don't know what it is. She really didn't know what it was. And I couldn't even play it. I didn't have anything to play it. So I just went to Amazon. I bought a cassette player and it just showed up. So I finally have one.
Like VHS tapes, right? Like VCRs are pretty much obsolete, and I think I have a bin of VHS tapes just like rotting in the basement, but like now everything's digital. You can find whatever you want, just type it in, on the internet. But I think the 1975 are good for releasing everything they do on on cassette, and I buy them, and I just have a stack of these cassettes sitting on my desk over there, and I can't do anything with them. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to. And then, like, I feel guilty. So, like, if I buy a vinyl, for example, I don't want to open it. So then it's like I buy the best, like, this variant looks the coolest, but then I don't want to take it out of the sleeve because then, you know, it loses its resale value if I want to sell it later on down the road.
Greg's real good for resale of things. And I mean, like, anything. He'll go to the Goodwill and he'll find some things. He'll, like, scan it, take a picture and say, oh, look, I could buy this here for $8 and I could resell it on eBay for $28.
Gotcha.
He wanted to, I don't know if you've ever said this on the podcast before, he wanted to quit his job and just do that full time. He said, and he had all the math worked out. If I just make $700 a day reselling things from Goodwill,
I can quit my job.
I'll be good.
Spoiler alert, I couldn't
Still has not
hack
quit
it.
his job.
Yeah, that's not very sustainable, is it? Like, I got into the video game world a couple years back during the pandemic, and I was just collecting, and I honestly just wanted to grow my collection, but then I saw an opportunity to sell portions of it off so I could fund my collection. And it was working really well for a while, and I was like, I could probably make some good money doing this, and I did for like a year or two. Then the market kind of slowed down, and I couldn't do anything. So I don't know, Greg. I could have had a plan, but it was probably a 1 to 2 year plan max that I could sustain.
And I think what happened too, like if you go to the Goodwill now, the stuff is priced at a much higher. So like I'm not paying $30 for something at Goodwill to sell it for $40. Like it used to be $1.99, $2.99, $3, whatever.
Right.
But then and the thing that's frustrating is it's 100% profit for them no matter what. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm all for
Right.
the Goodwill mission, you know, but come on, man, I'm not paying. They had like a pair of Nikes for like $150. Dude, I'm not paying $150 for shoes when I can just get new ones, you know, that haven't been worn. I know exactly what they are. They're probably real.
Greg, I hate to tell it to you, but it's people like you that ruined it.
But honestly, like, it doesn't have to be like, why do you have to increase your costs because people are reselling, they're buying your inventory, and then who cares what happens after it? You know, have you guys ever seen, he's a video game guy, but he's on TikTok. He does autopsies. And he'll like people like ask him questions like, hey, like, is it sad? What do they smell like? But he also collects vintage video games and resells them.
That's his side. Wait, which is his real job?
I think doing the what does that make you?
Oh God,
A mortician.
Yeah, okay.
But he works specifically for the state for specific. I guess there are specific people who do specific autopsies, right?
Okay, let me just say that was a dumb question on my part. That's definitely not a hobby thing. Being a mortician is not a fucking hobby thing.
That is his career.
If you said that his main thing is video game stuff, but he likes to hobby around with dead bodies.
But he also likes to collect video games and run. So now that I have said that, I hope he pops up in your algorithm whenever you're whenever you're scrolling,
like things that he does.
Are these things? Is he doing these things together? By the way, I know you want to probably move on from this, but like,
no, I only want to talk about this. This is great. Like, I hope. No, so like, and he did this. Like, he has this thing on. Here's my Cash App. So I sent him like $5, and I was like, hey, will you come on our podcast? And then he just never responded to me. So, you can't win them all.
Not for $5.
Not for $5. I know. I was like, damn, should have sprung for 10.
Yeah, right.
All right. So Houston calls. So how often are you guys still playing a lot of shows? Or are you just kind of doing the one-offs now? How does that work now that, so many years later?
We are probably playing 1 to 2 shows a year for the past 2 years.
Okay.
Jose, if that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was about right.
I think 2 is the max we played in a year since 2023.
Yeah. I think that's right. What was Midtown in 2023?
Yeah, because there were
That's
2
in
or
December.
3. There were actually 3
There
that
was
year.
3.
So if you look back over the past 15 to 17 years, we probably averaged 0.01 shows per year. If you want to get statistical with it.
Your chart would flatline for some time, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's got to be hard though. Like as you grow up and you have your own lives, like playing shows. I feel like it's difficult to get everyone together at the same time. I'm sure or I don't know, maybe you do all live near each other, but like I feel like it's hard sometimes for Eric and I to get, and we're in the same state, like we're both in Delaware, so it's hard to get us together on the screen. So I feel like it's got to be really difficult to get a whole band together. But I am curious. So like, do you guys? So you do 1 to 2 shows a year. Do you like practice before, or is it just like muscle memory, like riding a bike, and you just go in and hope that it's still good?
Oh,
Yeah,
Jose, what do you do?
What do I do? Well, the first shows that we did when we got back together initially, I was a little bit lost. I couldn't really. It took a few sessions of sitting down and playing, and once I remembered, it just kind of all comes back. It's as if I had never stopped playing them after a little while. Didn't play them as well. It's just been a long time since I've been playing guitar. When you do it every night, it's just a kind of a muscle you work out. But as a band, are you asking individually or as a band?
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean, I
both,
guess
we do both. We practice
yeah.
individually and then get together before we play shows, 1 or 2 times or something. Because we
Now,
got to get Tom. Tom is he's a plane flight away now.
oh,
We got to
okay,
get
all
him
right.
up. It's the most to travel is the most on him.
Yeah, I live down south in North Carolina.
Oh, okay, all right. So when you sit there and you play guitar, do you play your own songs, or is that like the taboo going into Guitar Center and playing Led Zeppelin?
No.
I think that's what we hear from everybody is that.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back and listen to it? Just listen to it,
Yeah,
not even
yeah.
playing?
Yeah.
Like in the
Yeah.
car, you put, an old album on and relish.
yeah,
I think the fun part about that is like I have very distinct memories about the specific recording process for some of the songs, and it puts me in like a place. The same with probably everybody when you listen to certain music, you can truly feel like you're in a specific moment in time, whether it be like an era of your life or an exact location. And there's some really good memories about both of the albums that we recorded, the process, and just kind of where we were, because both we were very far from home when we were recording them.
Do you ever listen back to any of your stuff and like wish that you were like, oh, I wish I would have done this instead, or is
Yeah.
it like this?
All the time.
Yeah.
Are you
100%.
do you want to think about that, Jose? Or I don't know if you're sure.
Yeah, right.
100%.
Like,
Yeah,
so-
that's all the time. It's like constant critiquing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the more I listen to it, the more I get upset. Like, oh, this thing could have been so much better.
Yeah.
Because you like have so much more time to process it, and then also I can think back to all the times we played it live, and I'm like, oh, this part hits really well, but this is just like a dud. Like, why did we even put this part in here or something like that?
I'm not music guy, like at all, right? I've listened to music and I've had that thought, right? Like, what makes this that song? Why not? Is there something else that would make that like measurably better? And I've never been able to come up with an answer. So to hear your answer is very, very interesting. And when you said it, I'm not disagreeing, but it seems that if you had done anything differently, it wouldn't have been that song anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Like
think
it would be like something totally different. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Let me ask this question then to just go off of that. When you play live, do you ever like make those changes and play it a little bit differently? Would you like tweak it in a live performance?
Yeah, that's kind
yeah.
of a part of the evolution of a song. A lot of times you write the song, maybe somebody has an idea, and they bring it to everyone in the band, and we work on it together and try and make it into a song. Or maybe somebody has a melody or a piece, and we put it together. to play it live night after night, you get to kind of live with the song as the song is becoming what it's going to end up being. I think you could keep altering a song forever. You just have to kind of decide where you're going to stop doing that and let it be what it is. And then when you go to record the song, it's almost as if you're recording that song at that moment in time. And if you never recorded it, it probably would change. You could tour on it for another year, and I bet it would be a completely different song than it was at that moment. So you just kind of have to pick where you're like, I'm going to stop working on this now and record it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
and Eric, I also think, to the question that you're asking about, like the specific parts and it not being the same song, I think, and Jose would probably agree with this, like some of the things that we would change would be such minor parts that if you weren't really musically inclined, you wouldn't notice it. You probably wouldn't notice it, but we would feel it. And if you change the whole melody or like a chorus to a song, yeah, no doubt, you're absolutely right. But if you change like a little guitar part here or there, you'd be surprised. Like it might feel a little bit better. But you wouldn't miss the song. I think that's the cool part about, some of the little tweaks that we can make.
Mm-hmm. Tom, you said something about like listening to a song and it taking you back in that time and place of a specific memory. Greg knows this very well for me. When I was, and this is the most visceral feedback from an album that I've ever, like that I hold with me. It just teleports me back in the day. Is a Panic at the Disco. What's their first album?
Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
Well, I would argue their only album. I didn't know that they continued to make music until it was like so much later. And I said, "Oh yeah, they were good. That was like one hit wonders." And I said, "No, they've got like 3 albums." And I said, "No, liar." So anytime I hear that first album, all I can think about is me rotting in my bedroom playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time, and then for hundreds of hours, it was just on my little boombox, playing on repeat, and I would just play that game. So I have this weird association with Panic at the Disco and Resident Evil 4 for some reason.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Those things are fun. They bring you can probably like smell the rot in your room too.
Oh yeah,
as the music comes back on.
Cheetos, BO, Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I feel like Life and Dreaming from Hidden in Plain View is kind of my that album was like super important to me. I think I was in 8th grade when it came out, and like that, for whatever reason, like I don't know why, but like that's the album that really spoke to me.
Takes you back.
It does take me back.
Where were you, Greg, listening to this?
8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Class. No, I wasn't playing Resident Evil 4, but
no,
that was just the
that
album.
would be really weird.
Dude, I was the weird kid in the back of the room that had the headphones on while the teacher was talking.
Scribbling on a Trapper Keeper, whatever you're.
Yep. Yeah, drawing the S.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the S. Three lines, connect them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To be young again. All right, so I have to ask though, do you have like a most memorable or favorite tour that you went on, or is that like taboo to talk about?
No, I don't think
No,
that's
I don't
ever
think it is at all.
taboo to talk about.
No. Man.
Mine are going to be overseas. It's
Same.
probably
I
one of the
think
most
so.
memorable ones. Like we had a lot of U.S. tours that were probably memorable because of the people that we went with, like the bands. Like Jose mentioned Valencia and Just Surrender. We had a lot of great times with those bands, and like a band called Self Against City, and just a lot of other people that we love touring around with. But I'm gonna say, like, we went to the UK a couple times, but I think the most memorable one would probably be the one that, and it's probably even more memorable for Jose because I know he's still friends with a lot of these dudes in this band. It was with that band You Me at 6 and Farewell. Like the 3 of us toured the UK, and You Me at 6 was like blowing up. So they're headlining these massive shows, and we're kind of just us and Farewell, these bands from the United States. Farewell's actually from North Carolina, like not too far from me. We're just coming to this place like, oh yeah, it's gonna be cool. We're going to the UK, and like these massive venues just filled to capacity. And I just remember everybody that was on the tour, like all the bands, all the members, everybody was super cool. And it's very rare that you'd have every single member of every band get along. And I think for me, that was what would make a memorable tour, plus being in the UK.
So
I'd agree.
is there like you said like everyone getting along? So is there like always someone that's like like there's always just like the one guy where like no one really digs and he's just kind of there? Or is that like I guess like anywhere you go there could always be one or two people you don't get along with.
Yeah, I mean, it's really statistics. When you get that many
right.
people together, the more people you get together, the more chances there's going to be some
You're not
turd
liking
in
someone.
the group.
yeah, right.
And there
It's not always
usually
someone
is.
Yeah, it's not someone that's always like a jerk. There's someone who's quieter. Maybe they're not as outgoing or wanting to hang out. So they're not necessarily the ones that someone doesn't like. Maybe you don't have a connection with them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to like being around some like I don't know, especially if you are quiet or more reserved. Yeah, you're probably just looked at as that guy. But I just realized, so you guys, I don't know if you still are, but you were on Rushmore Records, right?
Yeah, that's right. It was like a Rush. The first album came out technically on Rushmore. The second album came out on Drive Thru Records. They were both owned by the same people.
So, and the only reason I ask, so the track record, they were on, I think, Rushmore too.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were, I can't even remember, I think it was 2005. We played, or I went to a concert of theirs in like a field in Townsend, Delaware. And they were so fucking good. And there were like 10 of us there. But like, I don't know, getting to see like bands that being that close to bands was such a cool thing. And that's why I miss, talking about the Harmony Grange and like just going to those intimate shows. Like we don't have anything like that in Delaware anymore. There's nothing like that to catch. If we want to catch a show, you got to go, Eric, to a bar in Wilmington or Philly?
Yeah, we got Bar 13. There's a lot of cover bands that play at Bar 13. It's like it's pretty much, I'd say it's the only thing that like it until you get up to Philly that does like is alternative maybe the right word.
What happened to the Wild Child Cafe? Is that gone? Long gone?
Wild Child Cafe.
Wasn't
that here in Delaware?
Wilmington? I think that was in Wilmington. I went to school in Delaware. So
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I got a special place in my heart for Delaware. And I thought Wild Child Cafe. I thought that's what it was called.
So there used to be like in Newark, like Main Street, not the eastbound.
It was
There used to
East
be-
End Cafe.
East End
Yeah, that's
Cafe.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
There would be that was popular to like for bands to play, and then longer ago, I think it was called the Stone Balloon, and then
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like I
Well,
think
Stone
like,
Balloon had some like, I mean, like I didn't like Springsteen
George
come
Thorogood,
through. Yeah.
George Thorogood played there all the time. He's Delaware guy, so I guess he probably played at
All the Delaware
the
places.
Delaware places. And then so then Bar 13 used to be Mojo 13, and I think the only band that I'd ever heard of, not being really music guy, Gwar would go through Mojo 13 back in the day. I just saw them for the first time. When Greg, when did I see them? Like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was quite the experience.
It is.
I recommend it if you haven't seen
It's
them before.
something.
Well, and to go back to like East End, and then it became Mojo Maine, and they got shut down because they were running like karaoke without, I guess they didn't have the licensing rights, and they were like, you can either
Dog's about to
pay
start
this
barking.
fine or get shut down. And so and I just remember it because the dude looked like a mix between Bono and who was that comedian, Mitch
Hedberg?
Hedberg.
Yeah, and it looked like they had a love child. And I just remember always seeing this guy, and that he was like they shut down because of licensing rights, and I didn't know that was actually a thing. I mean, you hear about it,
It's
but
the
like,
first I'm hearing of this.
yeah,
You can't
Yeah.
just do karaoke.
No, apparently you can't.
That's nuts.
You want to
Yeah.
hear something really weird that on a tour experienced something very similar to this? We were playing at this place, and Jose, I think this is when we were touring before like Houston Calls, but I just remember being in this place called Kilby Court in Salt Lake City, Utah, and they had us they asked us if we were going to play any cover songs, and we were, because we played this song by The Police, can't remember what we played then, but SOS, like whatever that one
Okay,
is.
yeah.
Message in a Bottle, sorry.
Yeah.
And they were like, you cannot play that. And we're like, what are you talking about? It's like this little tiny venue held like 150 people. They're like, you can't play that. I'm like, why? They're like, we'll get fined. We don't pay licensing fees to ASCAP or any of the composers' fees that we have to pay to allow any cover music that's not original being played in there. So it sounds like the same sort of thing, but that was like a long time ago.
But who's telling? Like,
Yeah,
who's-
that's
They've
so
got
nuts. How would you
narcs coming
find out?
around. Like every show, they've got a plant in the audience.
Yeah.
Like, just check and make sure there's no cover
That's
songs
so
being played
weird
tonight.
because there's bands that exist on
Well,
being a cover band.
and I
my wife just went to the beach down here in Delaware, Dewey Beach. She went to what's that, Bottle and Cork,
yeah.
and Love Seed Mama Jump is the resident Delaware cover band. They've been doing it for decades, probably 20, 30 years, just doing cover songs. I find it hard to believe that any little bar that they go to play in is paying these, what'd you call them? The licensing?
Well, and it's got to just be like, I know I heard, I don't know if this is true. Maybe Jose, Tom, you can shed light on this, but and this I guess goes more for the recording side of it, but it's cheaper to just you record a cover and upload it because the rate is set for what you have to pay the original artist, but it's harder to sample something from a song because there's more licensing rights behind it, and you have to get a higher level of permissions to do so. I don't know if that's true. I read it on a subreddit, so take it with a grain of salt, but but I think it was Panic actually who they sampled Rock Lobster in one of their songs, and and apparently it's just easier to cover it, but I don't know how that translates to, I mean, you guys playing a show and not being able to actually play a cover song.
That's
I just
completely nuts.
yeah.
It was nuts.
I
Yeah,
thought I thought anyone can cover anything live.
So did I. It was a strange day.
This is nuts.
One that I haven't forgotten about. This is I'm talking like 2002, 2001,
still, yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it's in there.
But I mean, you look at the band. I don't know if you've heard of Our Last Night. I mean, they do a ton of covers. I feel like majority of the stuff that they do are just cover songs, and that's kind of their shtick, Or there's another band that I see, Burn the Jukebox, where they're a bunch of kids doing cover songs. So I don't know if rules have changed, as time has gone on, or
It's probably just fly under the radar. If you're not getting in trouble for it, that's not a problem.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe
or
they
if
got
you're not
burned
making
before.
money off of it.
yeah, right. I don't know. I don't know. So you guys aren't going to go on tour anytime soon? That's are those days done?
Tour.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so tough. I mean, we did get an offer. I don't remember when that was, Jose,
I
months
think
back.
it's 2023 or something.
Yeah, 3 or 4, a year or 2 ago
Yeah.
when we first got back, and someone offered us a leg of their anniversary tour or something, which is really cool. And we were seriously considering doing a portion of it, a week or 2 would probably be the max that we could do. Can't remember what exactly played out, but I don't know about you, Jose, and everybody. We kind of talk about this. I don't say no to anything until I fully vet it and think it through and talk to
Right.
everybody about it. So there's no reason to say no to something. If something's coming your way, it's we can at least see, is this going to work? And if it doesn't, cool. We don't have, there's no stress at all. We don't need any of that stress right now. We're in a beautiful spot.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like you can kind of call your own shots. I feel like you put in the work, right? Over how many
Yeah, at this point, it's more.
years and-
I'm more concerned about saturating ourselves. We can't just live off this album any longer. This is, once you hit the 20th anniversary, it's all right, cool. I think that's good. You need some new stuff, or
Yeah.
see you later. Like,
But it's wild because it's like right now, everyone, it's like the 20th is for like everyone. The 2025, man, it's crazy how many 20th. Yeah.
There's been the resurgence like that. The nostalgia, right? It seems to be nostalgia means, I think now, I'll define it. 20 years ago is what was going on 20 years ago is what it feels like. I know that's not entirely true. It could be whatever you feel is nostalgic, but that right now seems to be, it's long enough ago that it's like, wow, I really miss that, but not so long ago that it's obscure.
But it's weird too because like some bands I feel like are doing their 20th, but it's not really their 20th, but the pandemic happened and kind of stopped music and then like live shows for a little while. So it's like it's really like your 23rd, you know? So are you just doing the one show then for the 20th and it's in Jersey, right?
yes and yes as
Yeah.
of now. Yeah, that's kind of how it's looking. I just have to say, I had a lot of like internal and mental challenges thinking about this because I was like, to your point, there's a lot of 20th anniversary fatigue I'm feeling, and we haven't even done it. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of that. But then I was like, what the heck? Like, it seems like everybody wants to do it. It's always fun getting with these guys and playing again. I haven't had a bad time doing it, and it's never cost us any money. It just takes a little bit of time, but it's really enjoyable. And I see nothing wrong. Like I feel like there's no reason to not do something. If people are enjoying it and we're enjoying it, like there's no issue with me. So fatigue aside, like cool, we'll try it out.
I think it's kosher as long as you guys don't try to do 25 years 5 years from now.
Yeah, this would be the only anniversary celebration for this.
That would
I
piss me off for some reason.
Every 5 years.
I think if you do a big one, you got to, or another 20 years. So are you guys ready for the 40th? 20 years from now.
That'll be
I think that's
totally
what
done by
2045.
The fact that you guys are talking to like a tiny band anyway, such an obscure, like Houston Calls is like a pretty obscure band. The fact that we can even do it, I feel lucky enough to be able to have people that want to come out and see it. So there'd be absolutely no way a 25, 30, anything like that. This will be it. I promise you.
Yeah, we I don't know. I used to, so in like 2005, I dated this girl and she was like, yo, you got to check out this band, Houston Calls. I saw him at like a fire hall. I don't know if it was in Delaware or what. She was like, my friend, he knows them or so. I think she was cheating on me with this dude or something.
Oh, no.
She like totally knows this band called Houston Calls. And I was like, oh, cool, right on. I already like kind of knew who you guys were. But yeah, so I mean, like, I feel like, especially in Delaware, like you guys were huge. I mean, like,
Greg, I thought you were going to accuse one of them of having sex with your girlfriend.
Same.
Yeah, I was wondering where this is going.
What was her name?
yeah, Tom.
It's about
That's
to
why I
get
set
weird.
this whole thing up.
Let me find the motherfucker that cheated on that fucking
right.
girlfriend.
Get him up on here. Got you, bitch.
Oh my god!
I knew it was you.
I said I'd get you one day.
Over.
And here it is.
It's been 20 years in the making.
You ever see what's that video of the guy? He goes, the mom comes in and the son's playing video games and she goes, honey, I'd like for you to meet somebody. And he brings the guy in. He goes, hey, I think he says a gamer tag name. Yeah, it's like
Oh yeah, I did see
Snipe
that.
Daddy 69XX. He said, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. He said, yeah, remember 10 years ago, Call of Duty 4 lobby, I said I'd fuck your mom. Well, here I am.
Oh, man, that takes me back. But yeah, I mean, like, dude, like I don't know. I drive past the Harmony Grange every Saturday. My son goes to swim up in Wilmington, and it's just a sad. I mean, now it's just a dump. And
Greg, as much as you talk about that place,
it was the shit, man.
I think that you need to buy it. I don't know if you could buy.
It's owned by the state, so it was like the Grange was a place where farmers would meet to like do auctions, like at least that one, to do auctions for their surplus of stuff. And it wasn't ever owned by the person who ran it. He just rented it every show, and then the bands would come through. But then it got shut down because there was only one bathroom that didn't work, and I guess apparently that's a no-no.
That seems like a code violation.
Yeah, right. So then everyone started playing at I think it's called is it the Queen or in Wilmington?
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's significantly bigger and nicer.
Yeah.
For sure. It's the XPN room, right? Is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes.
The Queen, and
Like
then
World
there's the other
Cafe
one.
or something?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's nice. And we do get bands that come through. And you know what? There are some places down at the beach that we do get live music. I mean, we have what is it, the Cork and Barrel that you were just talking about, or Barrel and Cork or whatever. And like Dashboard just came through, Taking Back Sunday came through, Steel Panther randomly. But
Steel Panther? These guys are hilarious.
But
is that the hair? That's the hair band. They do like
it's
not
like the
spoof
glam.
songs.
It's like the glam rock, but we don't have like that like intimate music. So is this show that you're doing, is it kind of that intimate atmosphere, or is it like a bigger venue?
Oh, no. It's definitely intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there. Jose, you been there?
No. But I know the
I've seen-
cat, so I know it's small.
Yeah, it holds like a couple hundred people. And
That's
so
awesome.
it's probably smaller than Harmony Grange, to be honest. I feel like Harmony Grange held like 300 or 400 people, didn't it?
Yeah, I feel like
maybe.
like
They got
350,
pretty
400. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one bathroom.
And one
If,
bathroom.
if you're
This dog
lucky.
is so bossy. He's so old. I don't know what he wants anymore. Sorry.
You're good.
But Greg, the cool thing about Harmony Grange was like, of all the venues that we would play, like that was the only one that was still kind of a quote unquote legitimate venue, but it was still like a hall, which is why it was awesome
Yeah.
compared to most other places would be like bars or clubs or something like that. And there was something special
Hold
about
on,
the
I'll
Grange
be
because
back.
of that, because it still had that like old feeling of going to a fire hall or going to a VFW hall or something like that.
Well, and it was cool too because it was like the first time. I mean, so it was either like we would go there or like my dad would take me to at the time it was what, the Wells Fargo, or was it the Wachovia Spectrum at that point, I think, in Philly. And so like going to the Grange, you got to watch bands play and then like talk to them and interact and actually like hang out with them, where like you didn't get that luxury anywhere else. And dude, the tickets were like $8.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cheap
Yeah.
as shit
There
to
was
go.
nowhere for the bands to go. They had to be in the parking lot. There's no backstage. It's like
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
forced into it too, even if they like it or not.
Well, and there was like, and as I drive down that road, Limestone Road, I'm always like, how did people not get hit by cars? Because everyone during each set, they would walk down the sidewalk, go to Dunkin' Donuts, and then they come back. And like, I know I was stupid and I would like walk in the street. So it's crazy to me that you know, that never
Everyone
happened.
made it out alive.
Yeah, or at least that you know, that I know of. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now it's been officially shut down, and I don't know if they're gonna demo it or what. But you know, it's I guess growing up.
Do you know when the last show was there?
Yeah,
How
I think
long
it was
ago?
2014,
Oh, so it was a while. back.
2015. Yeah, it wasn't like any time recent because then everyone started, you know, they're going to Mojo 13 or you know, the Queen or whatever. Nobody and then they kind of shifted away from like doing a whole bunch of different shows. I mean, I remember like Brand New played, Paramore, My Chem, like there were some like really cool bands that were still up and coming at that point. And then it was just like hardcore bands that looked like if you take a leather like couch and carve a knife into it, like that was their name. So you don't really know what their name is. Like that's all that was kind of coming through. So then and then I was, you know, 2014, I was like just getting married. So I was like, man, I'm too old to be going to these hardcore shows and throwing down, you know, like that's not what I don't want to get punched in the face listening to music. I'm good at like, I'm good for sitting down at a concert now.
You're old guy
Yeah,
now.
I
You
am.
could never sit there. There weren't even chairs there, were there?
No.
Maybe on the side,
No,
like
no
one or
chair.
two chairs.
No chair.
There might have been a chair or two, but
It
There
was
was no
very
chair.
just
Not likely.
and the floor was always just kind of covered in like just grime and sweat, and you would slide around. It was the shit, man. Eric never got the luxury to.
the
No,
whole
but my wife
building
did.
would sweat. I remember like the
Yeah, yeah.
walls would be just wet in there By the end of the night, it was nasty. I mean, it was a great time. But you had
but
I'm
like
getting the feeling of like, do you guys ever see the Amityville Horror? Like how the
Yeah.
house was like
it was
kind
like
of
that.
a thing.
kind of
I
alive.
think that's how that was. This building was alive, except not horror, but fun.
But it was just cool, and the sound was good, and it was just fun. Like that, I don't know, man. Like I haven't experienced music like that since. I take that back. I've been
you
some
got to get in there, dude. You could be the new Harry Mazzio. You could run it.
Do you still keep in touch with Harry?
I haven't spoken to him in years, but we did for a while, but not for a long time.
Harry, like I remember I've recorded my first I was in like a band and he came over to my house and we recorded with him because if you record with Harry Mazzio, you get to play at the Harmony Grange. And in like middle school, high school, like that was my goal. I wanted to play there and I knew like, oh, if I played there, I get to play with like a really cool band. And I think we ended up recording with him and we played with Aiden, Bedlight for Blue Eyes, and Tokyo Rose. And like for me, that was like fucking just awesome to get to play these shows with these people. But all you had to do was pay Harry to record an album if you were a nobody. Yeah.
Well, at least you get something out of it, right? You're recording. That's cool.
Yeah, and it was you know, it was all right. but the memories.
That's right.
Tokyo Rose, another one. They're back now too.
Are they?
Yeah. They're
Stronger than
they're
ever.
playing
They're
a Kung
like
Fu
touring.
Necktie on Friday.
Oh wait, really? So they're like legit doing it.
Yeah. They're really
Wow.
out there.
Are they also doing a 20th?
I
I don't know. They're honestly, they're going on tours now. They're playing so many shows.
Yeah.
So they're like
They're really out
full-fledged back.
I feel like that's like the early November. I still see like Ace and them. They're like just fucking going all the time too. I don't know. Like I feel like I would just be tired at some point. But
That guy is different. He's different. He's never gonna stop. He's the best. I played in a band with him after Houston Calls. I played in he had a side project, I Can Make a Mess. You know that one?
Oh, were you and I Can Make a Mess?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Yeah. I love like Ace Enders was like that was like who I don't know, not wanted to be, but like that was my shit too. Especially like I don't know, learning how to play guitar and I don't know. But okay, well before we go, so August 1st. And what is
It's August 1st?
Is it
It's
August 1st?
Yeah, it's Friday,
August 1st,
August
okay.
1st. Yeah.
I can edit that out and I can
Yeah, you can edit out my stupidity. I don't even know what my own show is.
and so you're playing with Day. Oh, you're playing with Day at the fair?
Yeah.
Oh, and Tiny Ships are the shit too. That's a good lineup. And it's at Crossroads.
You don't think we're coming here messing around, Greg? We got a
I know,
good
man,
lineup.
like,
we're not
sorry.
we're not just gonna have some college alt rock band opening for us. We're gonna roll all the stops.
You're having everyone. What a fucking show. Yeah, you know what? I think I don't know who I was talking to, and I was like, we're totally coming to this. But Eric, we got to go to this show.
Yeah,
August
like, come
1st.
on.
Come through.
Close as shit. We have to.
Where is it?
Crossroads in Garwood, New Jersey.
Okay.
We're actually taking a train to New York in July for Just Surrender's 20th.
Nice.
After we had Jay on, yeah, we're doing that, and then
Shoot. So that would actually be like the next week.
Yeah, on a Friday, which means that we wouldn't have to go to work because we can't work if we're going to a concert.
Right, of course.
mentally can't go to work that day. Good for that.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, see? Well, Tom, Jose, thank you for joining us. And
of course.
I know.
Nice talking with you guys.
Nice meeting you all.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes,
You too.
thank you.
And let us know if you want to come through the show.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
Absolutely.
No
Yes.
pressure, but if you want, please let us know.
I'll hit you up.
He means that because you're in. Don't buy a ticket.
Yeah, don't buy tickets.
That's what he's saying.